and welcome to the Deucecast movie show. I'm David. Whoa. That's not right. I'm sorry. Hello, everybody. You're listening to The Good Day. That's not right either. What the heck is going on here? We are here to react to the Deucies. That's what we're here for. I finally got it. Of course, joined by Aussie Nate, the kind of creator of the Deucie reaction show. Nate, how we doing?
I'm not really sure if that's an honor I want, but it is what it is, right?
The Deucecast historian. I should show off. I am wearing the Deucecast shirt today. And
I should have worn mine.
We're joined by Garrison Ryfun.
Hello.
Garrison,
Hi,
how we doing?
All right. So what did I do this? How did I deuce this? What did we call it? The Deucecast Extra. We would go over what we did.
Yeah.
Well,
how did you extra this last week?
Extra.
Garrison?
That's what it was. Yeah. No, I'm good. I've done plenty. I'm excited to talk about the Deucies. You know, it's always a great time of year when we get to have our reaction show and talk about the nominees, talk about what we voted for, and talk about what we liked and maybe didn't like.
Yeah, it's still one of my favorite like podcasting moments is when the first year we were doing this and Garrison was like, yeah, I had this one here. And I was like, yeah, I had it here and here. And Nate was like, wait. You guys have votes?
Yeah. But since then, I've gotten a vote. So
Yes.
it worked
All
out.
is right in the world now.
And like me, completes. Yeah.
Say
This is
what?
our fourth annual.
Yeah, fourth one.
Fourth time, yeah.
How many? I should know this. How many Deucecast since the 2014 looks like? So 11th Deucecast. Is that what Deucie? I mean Deucie award show.
Oh man, I don't have my spreadsheet up.
I pulled up the spreadsheet and they've got results from back to 2014. So I'm assuming that's if the results are accurate. I'll assume that that's true. We are not joined by very many people in the live audience because tonight's the premiere of Andor season 2 is what I'm going to blame it on. And not because we're broadcasting on a channel that is very inactive and a podcast that's very inactive. We're broadcasting on the Good Day for Movie podcast channel, and we haven't released an episode in a few weeks. Anyways, should we just hop into this thing and get into these Deucie awards?
Yeah.
Well, firstly, I want to know what percentage of completion of movies did you guys get?
So I was 100, and you guys know that because I did it probably first of anybody.
Yep. I was not 100. I was close. Nate, where were you at?
I got 100, but I started at 44% when they came out. So I had to
it was
hustle
impressive.
There. I was at 85%.
I think I was like at 80 something when the list came out. Last year I got Movie Pass, and so at my theater I could watch about 3 movies for $10. So it was a great deal for me. Then the system broke because the theater updated their website here, but at none of their other locations. So MoviePass doesn't work with our theater anymore, which is great. I've emailed both parties about that a couple of times. No one really cares. That's fine. But so I got to catch a lot of things in theaters this year, past year. And I've been trying to keep that up this year when I bought a bunch of discount gift cards going into the year. But I will run out of those probably by the summer.
Yeah, I did not. I was definitely under 50% when they were announced. And then I got it up to 85%. The movies I missed was My Old Ass, Woman of the Hour, I think is what the name of that one is.
Yep.
The Beatles documentary, Beatles 64, Alien Romulus, Challengers, and I'm Still Here.
Based on the things you missed, I'm Still Here and My Old Ass are probably the best of those.
Yeah, I'm most upset about I'm Still Here. It just was very inaccessible and I couldn't watch it. Because it never
one of my
came
theaters, thankfully.
Yeah. I'm not very disappointed by missing the other 5, in all honesty.
I don't know. The first 2 acts of Alien Romulus were pretty fun.
See,
Alien Romulus is good. Some of those things are good. Woman of the Hour, maybe discounting there.
Yeah,
I didn't. That one just did not connect with me. But
I have. This is an unfortunate fact about myself. I've never seen an Alien movie. I started the first one when I was in college, and I got about like 10 minutes in. And I was like, I think I'm going to go drink beer. So
The first one's very good, and it's very horror, and then the second one is.
Oh no, we lost.
No.
I'm sorry, Garrison. I'm sorry. I gotta add you to our. Okay, I'm sorry. I cut you off. Continue, James Cameron Alien.
Did my thing just blink at all for a second there?
Well, I accidentally went to the next scene to pull up the slide, and for whatever reason, you're not on there.
I know what you did, but did my thing blink at all when it came back up?
I don't know.
I didn't see it.
Try it again.
Sorry. Okay, good. All right. Sorry. I bought a new laptop, and when I plug it in, it flashes the screen, like goes in and out. Anyway, it's just a feature. No, Alien's great. Alien's great. Aliens 2 is very different. A lot of people love it. It's great. I think you could probably go on from there and watch Romulus I think you could just watch Romulus now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need to watch 3, 4, Prometheus, Covenant. You're all right.
Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And then that would mean I have to watch all the Predator movies as well, which I have also not seen.
I've only seen Prey.
Okay. Well, that's true. I did see Prey. It was nominated for a Deucie last year, right?
Yeah.
You haven't seen the original?
No.
Oh man, that is a fantastic movie. That is like top 5 '80s action movies.
I'm sure I'd love it. Arnie, Carl Weathers, Shane Black is in it in a small part, the director.
That's cool.
But yeah, I've just never sat down to watch it. I got too many things I own that I haven't watched.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this thing. Garrison, you're going to disappear for a second, but I'm going to add you back in. There we go. Like we said, off the top, we're here to react to the 2025 Deucie Award Show, the Deucecast Movie Show's annual award show, the People's Award Show.
Yes.
First category we got, Best Actor. Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown was the winner. Aussie Nate, thoughts?
I mean, that was probably the best performance of the list there. Domingo, I really liked Sing Sing, and I just kept waiting for him to just unleash, but it just seemed very I don't know, reserved. But that was probably my second favorite. But Charlemagne was fantastic as Bob Dylan. And didn't he learn guitar for something like 3 years or something?
No.
That's commitment.
Mm-hmm. Garrison?
I'm happy with this win. He didn't win the Oscar. Brody did. I actually put Domingo at number 1 for me.
I did as well. I'm very confused by some of these results. Yes, we'll get there. But
wow. That sounds like Nate put it at 2. You put it at 1. I put it at 1. Dang. Everyone else must have put Chalamet at 1. That's kind of crazy.
Right. Yeah, Chalamet was actually my number 3. I had Sebastian Stan above him.
He is actually my 4.
Yeah, crazy. I'm not calling shenanigans on David yet, but as we get further in, I may have to.
I believe it though. Mikey and Earl, and Dave were all really high on the film at the end of the year last year. So, yeah,
look, I was too. It's one of my top. I think it's in my top 5 for sure. So I really liked the movie, and Sing Sing and A Different Man are not in my top 10. So I like the movie. I just thought those 2 specific acting performances were.
Domingo for me. I was blown away. Yes, it's subtle. I agree, and it's not there's no major over the top moment, for sure. But I don't know. That one really worked for me, even though I didn't love the film as much as I love some of the other films, like you're saying, Jacob.
Yeah. I had Adrian Brody at 4, Ray Fiennes at 5, and Jude Law at 6. I liked the order.
Jude Law is also 6.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually liked the order too. I thought it was a pretty good film. But Jude Law doesn't come close to most of the list. No.
So I think we're in agreement. They got it more or less right. We're not upset by it. The top 3, I was I'm happy with any of them winning.
Mm-hmm.
That was my pick, so I'm happy.
Yeah. I can't remember. Did they forget anybody in the nominations? Do we do that, or is that just an Oscar thing?
We sometimes do it. If
Yeah.
there's like an egregious one.
I mean, Timothy Chalamet is Paul Muad'Dib.
Yeah. I think the problem is there, it's kind of like the Oscars. You don't really see that happen a lot there either, because you got to choose one.
Yep.
And that one got released specifically for awards consideration.
Yeah.
So, but I agree. I mean, his performance as Muad'Dib is, to me, I actually like it a little more.
Yeah, I agree. I think, did juror number 2 get fully shut out of here?
I think so.
Yes, because I have not seen it.
Okay, yeah. That's something that I know David was big on it.
Yeah,
I like that movie as well. It's my number 7 movie of the year. Nicholas Hoult is a best actor I could have easily seen replacing Jude Law.
Before I say something stupid about the Deucies, where Dave has to correct me again, I think, I mean, like if someone really wanted to put juror number 2 up, they'd have to put it at their number 1, and nobody was willing to do that. So.
Yep. I believe that is the requirement. All right, let's move on here from Best Actor to Best Supporting Actress. Florence Pugh is your winner. Monica Barbaro also nominated. Margaret Qualley, Kaylee Spaney, Ariana Grande, and Felicity Jones. This was my number 1 pick. I know the hosts were surprised when Florence Pugh won, but this was my number 1.
I was very happy. I'll let Nate go. Sorry.
Is this Best Actress?
Supporting Actress.
Supporting. Yeah, this was my number 1 as well. That movie destroyed me. Her performance was fantastic. Like, the whole movie was really good. But just the way she played it was really fantastic. I think let's see where number 2 was Spaney, Civil War. I thought that was a really good performance as well. But yeah, Florence Pugh, I couldn't believe they were that surprised by that. Like, I thought this was like one of the easier ones to pick.
Florence Pugh's my wife. She looks beautiful today on the red carpet, as the Thunderbolts premiered today. She's my number 3. Wow. And
wow.
if I were to re-rate this, I probably would have put her 2. I was influenced by the Deucecast on Monica Barbaro being ahead of her. But I actually put Qualley at 1 because that movie really worked for me, and I really think Qualley gives a heck of a performance in The Substance. I know that did not work for everybody.
Yeah, I had Qualley as my 3rd. Actually, I had Barbaro as my 2nd. I would have been happy with the Barbaro. I think maybe the surprise comes from the fact that the Oscars screwed up the Best Supporting Actress category so much that they had like leading actresses in the supporting category.
Yes,
that this is a very different list from the Oscars.
And
a more
accurate great addition.
Yes, absolutely. And I like the performances from Pugh and Garfield and We Live in Time more than I like the movies, the movie itself. I was all right with the movie. It was pretty average to me, but I thought their performances are kind of what lifted it up.
Their chemistry. Yeah. I mean, it's really
and I think maybe there's a chance I would have put Spaney a bit higher if I didn't see that movie in the theater when it came out months and months ago now, maybe a year ago at this point. But yeah. I think they got. I'm happy with this result. Absolutely. I had Felicity Jones in my last spot. I just didn't think that character brought it enough to warrant being over any of the others.
I had Spaney at 4, right below Florence. My top 4 were all things I really, really liked, and probably could have redone the order here or there for them. But bottom 2 is really easy, being Felicity Jones and Grande. I think Ariana does a good job in Wicked, and I actually really like Wicked a lot more than I thought I would. But it's not, I don't know. It's just not awards worthy to me.
Yeah. I couldn't get over the made up words that were real words. I couldn't get over it. I know it's a thing that they do and it's supposed to be there, but it just drove me up a wall. So All right. Directing achievement by a director who directed a film. Denis Villeneuve is your winner for Dune Part 2. Alex Garland, Civil War. Brady Corbet, The Brutalist. James Mangold, A Complete Unknown. Sean Baker, Anora. And John M. Chu for Wicked. Garrison, you and your dad talked about breasts during the announcement of this category.
Yeah. I mispronounced best director as breast director, and then he just went on a roll. And I didn't realize he was gonna go to every nominee and ask me about the breasts in each film. And I was like,
It was a very perky segment.
So you notice I did say, and the real winner is Denis Villeneuve, because I recorded every name and I did Denis last, and I inserted that last year for Chris Nolan, and I did it this year again for Denis, because I just had a feeling it's the strongest contender of this bunch, even though he didn't win an Oscar.
Yeah.
Was he even nominated?
No, he was not nominated for director. Which is disgusting. I had him as my 1, Alex Garland as my 2, Brady Corbet, James Mangold, Sean Baker, John M. Chu.
I had Mangold at 1, Garland at 2, Baker at 3. Oh man, I didn't have Denis until 4.
Wow. Ouch. That hurts me personally.
I think part of it is how long ago that came out.
Yeah, March. Literally over a year ago now.
Yeah. So it had lost a little bit of its shine, except Civil War came out about the same time, and
came out a month later. Yeah.
I still really like that one.
I had Corbet at 2. Just the scale, be able to create that film on $10 million. I mean, like, that's a lot of money to us, but in the film industry, when you've got to buy cameras or rent cameras, you've got to, pay for actors and extras and lights, and you've got to build sets and blah. I mean, it's kind of crazy what they were able to do on that film. Yeah. And I think he does a masterful job while sleeping on people's couches, as he says in interviews. That's why it's up there for me. Even though I love the first half of the movie. The first half I think is really, really good. And the second half is purposefully bleak, but I just didn't, I don't know. I could have done without some choices that were made.
Yeah.
And you could still make it bleak. But anyway, I just didn't vibe with the second half. Garland for Civil War at 3 for me. And Nora at 4, John M. Chu at 5. And I put Mangold at 6, but I don't really hate any of the direction in this. I just kind of had to put some people at the bottom.
Yeah, for sure.
And it really kind of comes down to what I liked more there.
Yeah. So. Yeah. All very fair. All right. We're cruising along here. Best supporting actor. Kieran Culkin, your winner. Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, also nominated. Edward Norton, Complete Unknown. Nicholas Hoult, The Order. James Magaro, Leroy, Texas. Yura Borzov, Anora. When I think it was Leroy, Texas, was because John Magaro was in a lot of movies this year. He was also in September 5th.
Okay.
It took me a while to realize that he's the white boyfriend from Past Lives.
Oh, I picked up on that. I was like, where do I know this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh crap. He was like my favorite part of that movie, like low key, because not to go back into Past Lives, but like, I don't know. He was just such a cool character that like, just the way he like handled that was sick. But anyways, I had Kieran Culkin at my number 1. I think he was a very worthy winner. I had Guy Pearce 2. I thought he was at some parts of that movie outshined Brody in the acting department. I had Edward Norton at 3, Nicholas Hoult 4, Magaro at 5, and Yura Borzov at 6. I do not get the Yura Borzov love. I'm okay with the movie Anora. I think it's a pretty good movie. I think Mikey Madison's very good in it, but I don't understand what he was doing to get a supporting actor nom.
I have, I guess I'll just go through my list real quick. I have Kieran Culkin at 1, which is probably a lot of the Deucecast crew, honestly. Fantastic performance. It's crazy to me that Eisenberg went on a press tour and said that he originally wanted himself in that role, and the producers were like, no, no, no. You play the other character. Because it makes so much sense that Eisenberg plays the character he plays and Culkin plays the character he plays. I mean, it's just perfect for both of them.
He's not off-putting enough.
Yeah, he just does such a great job of playing this lovable, but also really annoying. He's fantastic. I thought Guy Pearce, who's my number 2, I thought he was really good in The Brutalist. Again, I don't love some of the choices they make with his character, even if I understand he's not supposed to be a good person. I had Yura Borisov at 3. For me, I don't know what it was, but he's not saying anything. But in those scenes, he conveys a lot while not saying anything to me. He will probably never get a shot at an Oscar again. But I thought he did a really good job in Anora. Norton at 4. I had Holt at 5. Holt does a really good job in the order.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just doesn't stack up against some of this other stuff. And I had Magaro at 6. I thought Magaro was fine, but I thought that was the weakest of anything here. So,
yeah, the Leroy, Texas was one of those Dave Dollar fascination movies that I don't understand. I like the movie fine, but
it's very Coen Brothers inspired.
Yeah, absolutely. Aussie Nate?
I had Culkin at 1. I think this was probably the easiest of all the categories to pick. He was just fantastic in that. I had Norton at 2. The guy from Leroy, Texas at 3. Anora at 4. I had Holt at 6 and Pierce at 5. I did not like either of those movies, so it's hard for me to separate the movie and the actor sometimes. So that's the only reason they're that low. But this is also a pretty stacked category as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in a year where Kieran Culkin's performance doesn't exist, Guy Pearce gets a lot of love in the award circuit this year.
Absolutely.
That's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, next up, we've got original or adapted screenplay. This is it's very interesting that they've combined these on the Deucies. I think we talked about it last year with Burgess, and Burgess talked about it.
I don't think he liked it.
No. Jesse Eisenberg, Real Pain, your second winner for Real Pain of the Night. Won Best Original or Adapted Screenplay. Jason Reitman and Gil Keenan nominated for Saturday Night. John Baker I'm sorry, that's not supposed to be John Baker. That's Sean Baker. I should have changed it when I put this presentation.
That's on them.
Yep. Alex Garland for Civil War, Bradley Corbet for The Brutalist, and Shane Atkinson for Leroy, Texas. Again, I had Real Pain at 2, but I got to show some love for Saturday Night. I absolutely loved that movie. It was just so much fun. Greg from The Office, or from The Succession, whatever the heck, Nicholas Braun. That's his name. Playing both characters of Kaufman and Muppet guy. Wow, my brain just completely fried. Jim Henson. Well, that was just so much fun. The script was awesome for that movie, and it was very punchy and funny, and it just rocked.
I had Garland at 1. Civil War was one of my favorite movies of last year. So, and I think they did such a great job of, Texas and California joining forces. No one knew if they were red or blue. And I think that was such a smart move, because then everyone was invested, and you didn't care about who was the bad guy, who was the good guy, based on your political views. So I thought that was very clever. And 2, I had Nora. 3, Saturday Night. Those could have been, 2A and 2B, really. They were both really good. The rest didn't really, affect me too much. But Civil War, I just freaking love that movie.
Yeah, in fact, if you had said that to me before I voted, I probably would have put it up higher. I have it at 4 on my list, Civil War. I put Real Pain at 1.
That's where I had it as well.
because I really enjoyed the script in that movie. I put Brutalist at 2. Again, some of the Brutalists going up higher on some of my list is really just kind of like I'm in awe of the achievement there.
Mhm.
And Nora at 3, I really like the writing in that movie, even if it's a lot of it's vulgar, just throwing a bunch of F-bombs around. I thought there was some good writing there.
Mhm.
Civil War, though, I mean, you're right. The way they wrote it and they were able to kind of skirt around some things while still sending out a message at the end of the day. I thought they did a very good job, and also conveying something I don't see a lot of people talk about with that movie, but also conveying kind of media, uh, really, really wanting to get the shot there at
Mhm.
the end, and winded up, she kills basically Kirsten Dunst, and Kirsten Dunst becomes a photo basically for the. Yeah, I don't know. There's just some really, really good writing there.
Yeah.
Even if I've seen some people call that stuff cheesy, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I know Rhett really loved the movie.
Yeah.
I don't think
You know,
Rhett has a
maybe
Deucey
movie
vote.
podcast for it.
Yeah, I don't think Rhett has a Deucey vote, but if he did, it might have given Civil War a better chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had Leroy, Texas at 6 and The Brutalist at 5. Again, fine movies. Just I don't think the scripts were necessarily the best parts of those. I had Nora at 3. Sean or John Baker, whatever you want to call him. I know. He may be a deprived man, but he's very good at writing movies.
Yeah.
Depraved, I think is what I meant to say there. Depraved, kind of sick man, but he's such a good writer of movies. Red Rocket was such a original story. Nora the same way.
And he's such a fan of movies too that I just kind of like when I hear him talk about other people's movies, I get kind of giddy like he gets.
Yep. Next up, we're going to animated and best animated movie. Wild Robot is your winner. Inside Out 2, Flow, Wallace and Gromit, A Vengeance Most Wanted is what that's supposed to say, and Moana 2 are your other nominations. I loved The Wild Robot. That was my number 1 for this category. I think it was my number 3 movie of the year, maybe 4. I thought it was fantastic. Inside Out 2 came in at my second spot. Flow 3, Wallace and Gromit 4, and Moana 2 at 5.
I think Wallace and Gromit Vengeance is a very different movie. I think I would really enjoy that.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
I had Wild Robot as number
Vengeance
1.
Most Foul. I'm sorry.
Yes.
It was number 1 by like a long shot for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was in my top 10 somewhere. I think Wallace and Gromit was number 2. That was also a lot of fun. And then the rest were all sort of, around the same area. But Wild Robot, I took the whole family to see that. And it's not very often that the 3 of us go see a movie together anymore. And we all loved that. And it was just...
I cried.
Yeah. My wife kept telling me that she got popcorn.
Yeah.
The butter in her eyes. And I was
yeah.
like, I don't think so, but it was good. It was fantastic.
I heard a lot of hype for Wild Robot. It's the last in-house DreamWorks movie. So basically they're going to like Korean animation studios and stuff now to kind of, it's because it's cheaper than doing in the States, whether you like that or not. Sadly, that's the way some things are going. I thought this was a beautiful story. I thought it was beautifully animated. It was easily my favorite animated film of the year. And yet I had 3 animated films that I loved this year. I mean, like actually loved. Wild Robot was my number 1, but Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Foul was easily also my number 2. Very up there for me. And Inside Out 2, I really, really enjoyed personally. And I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I kind of wanted to go into it cynically, but I came out really liking it. The last 2, I'll be honest, I enjoyed the animation of Flow, and I'm very happy for the story of those guys from, is it Latvia? Is where they're from?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I love that guy's Twitter account. The guy who's directed the film, he puts out a lot of funny posts nowadays. But I don't know, The story didn't really grab me as much as the others, but the animation's beautiful. And again, I'm happy they won the Oscar. Moana 2 was a pack of mid that I was very happy that it made $1 billion just for theaters, just so that theater owners could feel good about November.
yeah. Moana 2. I mean, I feel like there was another animated movie. I can't remember what it is now that definitely should have been nominated over it.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's something too.
Let me try to find what I'm thinking of. 2024. This is great.
We're in April,
video
so I'm
podcasting here.
Yeah. That's the problem, though. Again, we're in April, so
maybe not.
I mean, maybe not, but that was not animated.
I only saw 5 animated movies.
Transformers 1.
Yeah, Steve brought it up. Yep.
Transformers 1 is definitely up there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if there was anything else on my list real quick, and then I'll not Kung Fu Panda 4. Not Despicable Me 4.
Yeah.
Ultraman Rising I thought was pretty good, but nobody watched that. Mufasa doesn't count, and it's also fine. It's not great. Anyway, yeah.
I never ended up seeing the Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim movie.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Heard it wasn't very good. Just disappointing.
I heard it was meh.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, moving on to the Jacob Pinky Pinkerton Award for Best Brain Candy Movie. Your nominations are The Fall Guy, Twisters, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, Deadpool and Wolverine, and Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. Deadpool and Wolverine is your winner, which I think I may be the lone not fan of that movie on this panel, and maybe of the voters as well, because I had that one at 4. With Furiosa, the only one behind it. I had The Fall Guy as my number 1. I absolutely loved that movie. Twisters was also fantastic.
Go ahead, Nate.
Okay. I had Deadpool and Wolverine number 1. That was probably my favorite movie of the year. It sort of switches between that and Civil War and September 5th. Fall Guy was number 2. It was a great movie, but it's shot in and around Sydney, so it was like a little love letter to Sydney there. So I really enjoyed that. And then Twisters was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, Godzilla was 4, which was fine. It was a big CGI thing smashing each other. And I didn't really enjoy Furiosa, all that much.
I'm with you there.
No, I totally agree. My ranking is actually Deadpool and Wolverine 1. That was the most fun I had in the theater all year. I saw it 4 times in theaters with different friend groups and once by myself. I like that movie a lot. I know that, again, Jacob, I get it, but
I think I should clarify. I really do need to give the movie another chance, because I was in and out of that theater and I missed a fair portion of it with bathroom issues. So,
okay.
I missed the Henry Cavill scene. I still haven't seen it.
He does the Mission Impossible arm cock to spit out his claws, which is great.
It's on Disney Plus, isn't it?
Yeah,
that is now. Fall Guy was my number 2. I had a lot of fun with that movie in theaters. I saw it once and I told my dad, I really think you should go see this, because I really think you're going to like it, because he watched the show when he was growing up. It's not exactly like the show.
Yeah.
But it's got a bunch of Kiss song in it.
Yeah.
It's got specifically one Kiss song that not only plays over the Universal logo, but then it's worked into the score for the entire film. It plays in like a Letty motif or however you say that, light motif, sorry, throughout the entire film. And then there's a cover that plays over the credits. I told my dad, you got to go see this. First off, because I think he likes Ryan Gosling. I mean, who doesn't? But he liked the show, and it's got Kiss in it. And Emily Blunt. He came out of it really loving it, and he in fact showed it to some of his friends months later when it came on home video. So, I really enjoyed that. Twisters at 3. I enjoyed that. My list almost mirrors Aussie Nate's. I put Furiosa at 4 and Godzilla Kong at 5. To be honest with you, I don't know why I didn't flip those. I guess I was feeling bad for Furiosa. But I actually enjoyed Godzilla vs. Kong more than I did Furiosa in theaters.
Yeah. I mean, for the brain candy movie, I suppose Deadpool and Wolverine fits. But man, I think
absolutely.
Fall Guy and Twisters are just like that perfect movie of just turn your brain off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think they missed a couple here.
Okay.
What was it? The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Was a lot of fun. And I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I had a lot of fun with Roadhouse. Like, that is a brain candy movie.
I could have used Bad Boys Ride or Die in at least this category or the action one.
Yeah, I'm looking at my list now. I mean, If doesn't necessarily count for that one, but like, I'm kind of surprised they don't have like a best family film category on the Deucies. Like, I feel like that would be a fitting Deucie category because I really liked Diff. Paddington and Peru, same kind of deal there. Great family film. I don't really know what category, maybe comedy, I suppose. Yeah. I did not watch very many.
Oh, also Under Paris. Shark movie.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, moving on from the Jacob Pinky Pinkerton Award, we are going to Best Documentary. This was a very, very strong category, in my opinion. Super/Man, Christopher Reeve's story was your winner. Also nominated to music by John Williams, Am I Racist?, Jim Henson, Idea Man, and Beatles 64. I did not get around to watching Beatles 64. I was a massive Beatles fan in like third grade, I think, maybe fourth. And I still very much enjoy their music. I'm like, Superman's going to win. But I really enjoyed the John Williams and Am I Racist a lot. And Jim Henson Idea Man was a very fun movie as well. Or fun, maybe not fun. It's not the beginning of it is fun just to see the Muppets being created and Sesame Street and all that. It gets a little darker towards the end, but heartwarming as well. Just to kind of see the love that Jim Henson put into his projects.
I really liked where they sort of explained why like Sesame Street is so like trippy and stuff because of all the like experimental film. I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw Super/Man, Christopher Reeve story in theaters, and I really hated that I didn't hate that I did that, but I hated that I had to walk out after that movie and feel self-conscious that I had been crying like half of the movie. I mean, it's such a brutal documentary. I mean, it's so good. It is so good. But like, you just can't help but, I mean, there's so much tragedy that befalls that family, but at the same time, they're so positive, and you know, it is so. I'm far and away the best documentary on this list. 3 of these are Disney Plus documentaries that were good, and I liked them. Some of them even taught me some things I didn't know. The other one's a Daily Wire documentary by Matt Walsh, which if you like those, you're going to like that one. If you don't, you're not going to like that one.
Spoiler alert, I did not care for that movie.
Did you watch it? Oh, you 100%ed it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't want to, but then I was like, if I don't vote, it could win. So I gotta watch it and keep it out of the win.
Look, I had it at my number 3. I am the target audience for that probably, and I thought What Is a Woman was better. So funny story about that one though. The bookstore they go in Boulder, Colorado, my fiance, I think probably girlfriend at the time, leaned over to me when we saw it in the theater, and she was like, "That's like my favorite bookstore. Oh no." Because she's from that area and when she went to CU Boulder. But yeah, and I mean, if you're going to put John Williams music in something, I'm going to rate it high. So that was my number 2.
Yeah. Superman was my number 1.
Yeah,
and far and away.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had Superman number 1, John Williams 2, Henson 3. I didn't really care too much for the Beatles. I'm not a huge Beatles fan, So
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine. I learned some stuff. And then obviously, Am I Racist was last. But they missed one that I really loved this year. I don't know if anyone else saw it, but it was the Bray Wyatt documentary, Becoming Immortal, the wrestler. It was fantastic. I believe
Not a
it's
wrestling guy here.
it's on Peacock. If you have a chance, like even if you're not a wrestling fan, like you'll probably enjoy it. Just like his whole career and life and the impact he had on people and stuff. It was really good. I hadn't watched wrestling in 10 years and I loved it.
That's the kind of thing Mikey could have put forward.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a big wrestling guy.
But he definitely put Superman as his number one for nominations.
I do not follow wrestling at all. Oh yeah, absolutely. Mikey was team Superman. Like I don't know if he said that on the podcast, but like I definitely heard that from him. Private message wise. So
yeah. All right. Another big category here: Best Actress. Your nominations are Mikey Madison, Saoirse Ronan, Kirsten Dunst, Demi Moore, Cynthia Erivo, and Fernanda Torres. Demi Moore is your winner from The Substance. I had Demi Moore there at number 4. I thought Mikey was better. I thought Kirsten and Saoirse were. The Outrun was a very good movie and very good performance for Saoirse.
Oh man. Oh.
I had Moore at number 1. I think it took a lot of guts to like take on a movie like that where you're pretty much poking fun at yourself.
Yeah.
And then also like to be that age and wear that little clothing for so long of the movie is also pretty brave. I had Torres at 2. I thought that movie. I didn't necessarily love the movie, but I thought she was like fantastic in it. Ronan at 3. I didn't have Mikey Madison until number 4, and then Dunst and Wicked were 5 and 6. But yeah, I loved Moore in that, and I'm glad that the Deucies got right what the Oscars got wrong. So
I'll be honest with you, the Oscars may have swayed my ballot here a little bit. If Mikey had not won the Oscar, I probably would have put her at 1. But when Mikey won it, and I was very happy about that because I actually really, really enjoyed that performance. Even if movie has some. It's awkward for me to tell people in real life I really like Enora because I don't want to recommend that movie to people, even though I really like it.
I loved it. Don't watch it.
Yeah. I was having that conversation with someone that's seen it the other day, and I was like, it's really hard to recommend that movie to people. And you'd be like, it's great, but maybe not for you. But so I put Demi at 1, and I put Fernanda at 2 as well. Those are really powerful performances to me. And then Mikey at a really strong 3. That top 3, I think, I mean, in any other year, each of those could have won back to back to back. Torres kind of got the short end of the stick because Madison and Demi Moore already kind of had huge campaigns at that point. I had Ronan at 4. I think she gives a really good performance in a movie that maybe it's because it was the last Deucie I had to watch, but I kind of felt like it was a slog.
Yeah.
And that sometimes happens when you're binging a bunch of movies and one just isn't vibing with you or hitting with you in the way that, some of the other ones do. And I get it. It's a movie about this girl who's going through addiction problems and stuff like that. And I think she gives a great performance. Erivo I had next, and then Dunst at 6, but you could flip flop those. They're fine. They're good, but they're not top 3 for me.
Next up, we've got Best Ensemble Cast. No, we don't, because they have nixed that category and replaced it with Best Cinematography.
It's hilarious that the Oscars are basically adding Best Ensemble.
Right.
I mean, they're doing Best Casting or whatever.
Yeah. Your nominations are Rob Hardy for Civil War, Greg Fraser, Dune Part 2, Lowell Crawley, not LOL Crawley, for The Brutalist, Marcus Führer for September 5th, and Benjamin Cratchin for The Substance. I had Greg Fraser. No, I'm sorry. I had Rob Hardy as my number 1, actually.
Oh, wow.
Greg Fraser Dune Part 2 as in my 2 slot. And that's just because I'm pretty sure Greg Fraser won the previous year for the first Dune, and I thought Rob Hardy's Civil War was very good. Not to take away from Greg Fraser's cinematography performance, I thought it was fantastic still. Yeah. Garrison, what do you think?
I had Grieg, as Tate called him. I had Greg Fraser at 1. I think it's the best cinematography of anything. I mean, he is one of the best cinematographers working in Hollywood right now, between what he's done with the Dune franchise, the Batman, which he was a part of, the Mandalorian, which he helped create the volume tech, and I think does the best job of anybody shooting on it, personally. I think he's far and away, and Dune Part 2 is just a fantastic looking film. I mean, my Lord, it's gorgeous. I had Lowell Crawley at 2. Again, just what
Very
he is
good.
able to do on that budget, and it is beautiful. Rob Hardy at 3, easily. And then the last 2 are just not films to me that screamed cinematography, even if I think they're doing good camera work. The Substance was at 4, and September 5, which I really liked. And I was actually, I mean, we'll get to it a little bit. I was kind of surprised it won Best Picture, but I had it at 5.
It's funny. I had it at number 1.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I thought some of the scenes where it was sort of cutting back and forth and mixing the real life and the recreated stuff was really good. I had Civil War at 2, Dune at 3, Brutalist at 4, and then Substance at 5. I don't know. This was a tough one.
Yeah, I think my problem is whenever I think cinematography, I think like big, bombastic, pretty. And sometimes that's not always the case. I get it, but I don't know.
I think like framing and like interesting shots, and you're like, whoa, that's like a crazy shot. And then like, I don't know. I don't know enough about the movie industry, but kind of the stuff you're talking about there, Nate, is like more editing to me with like the cutting back and forth.
Yeah.
Well,
and the camera does move.
It is
a lot
framing and blocking, and
for sure. So I totally get it. I think all these were shot well. But yeah. Yeah, good stuff there. Next up, we got Best Action Film, Twisters, The Fall Guy, Rebel Ridge, Furiosa, Mad Max Saga, and The Beekeeper. Rebel Ridge is your winner. I think a very deserving winner. I finally watched Rebel Ridge after the Deucies nominations came out, and I thought it was a very good movie. Aaron Pierre, is that his name?
Yes. Yep.
Fantastic. And Don Johnson just makes a great villain in that movie. I actually had Twisters number 1 and The Fall Guy number 2. I was bummed that they didn't get more love in the winning nominations there. Either of them, I would have been happy with a win for either the brain candy or the action, but Rebel Ridge, a deserving winner. I unfortunately had Beekeeper at my number 5. If The Beekeeper was nominated for Best Brain Candy, I would have been much higher for me.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was number 5 for me as well. I had The Fall Guy at number 1. I mean, it's an action movie about an action stuntman, so slam dunk there. Rebel Ridge was 2. Twisters was 3. And then Furiosa at 4. Rebel Ridge had such like strong, First Blood vibes to it.
Absolutely.
That it was, you couldn't help but compare the 2 movies. But it was, I don't know, I like how it was kind of unique and modernized and its own thing as well. The acting was good. The action was good. Yeah, it was a great movie. I'm okay with that winning.
Yeah, in terms of movies on this list, I think Rebel Ridge is the best movie.
For sure.
When we get to these type of categories, I try to categorize them just myself and like how I felt about the action specifically. And so that's why I went with Fall Guy at 1 personally, because I thought it had. I mean, David Leitch, first off, is just a great. Literally, he came up in the world doing second unit action directing. Actually, he was a stunt performer first, and then he came up and did second unit action, doing things like Civil War, And then he went and co-directed John Wick, but they didn't allow him to have a co-directing credit because the DGA is stupid. Even though like Tom Hanks went all the way up to the top of the DGA and was like, give him a co-directing. That's a crazy story, but and he's kind of made a name for himself since then, doing things like Bullet Train, Deadpool 2, Fall Guy, and he's got a few other things cooking up right now, which is good. I put Beekeeper at number 2. It's a stupid film.
Yeah,
I agree, but it's just really fun, stupid film that I had a lot of good action to me. Again, best film, Rebel Ridge was number 3 for me. I thought in terms of action, I put it in kind of the middle of the pack, but such a dang good movie. And for a Netflix original, I mean, like the bar is super low there, sadly. I put Furiosa at 4 because I did like some of the action stuff there. I think Hemsworth does a good job in the movie. And Twisters, like, I don't know, when I'm thinking of action film, I get the action that's there, but it just didn't speak to me in that sense the way the other films did. So,
yeah, that's fair.
When my family went to go see If, I was sort of picking up the popcorn and drinks and stuff, and my wife and daughter went in to go see to find their seats. And I went in and they weren't there, and I was like, oh no, where are they? They'd wandered into Furiosa, was sitting down watching that. And my 10-year-old's like, what's happening? they quickly figured out this was not the movie and found the right theater. But yeah, that was perhaps a little traumatic for my daughter, some of those scenes.
Well, that's all right. 2 years ago, when I went to go see Super Mario Bros., what was the Nick Cage Dracula movie with Nicholas?
Renfield.
Yes.
Renfield started playing instead of Super Mario Bros. And luckily there were only like 6 people in the theater, and I don't think there were any kids. But like, I think the like 4th word in that movie is an F-bomb. And I was like, "Who? Not the movie that I signed up for. I want to see this movie." So I like sprinted to them, like, "You guys have the wrong movie on," and they luckily restarted it, Super Mario Bros. But I was like, I'm very glad that there weren't any kids in here that were like 4 years old.
That would have been bad.
Yeah.
Last time I had something like that happen, I went to go see Best Christmas Pageant Ever in theaters towards the end of its run because I knew it was probably going to be up for something. And Christmas Vacation started playing. And I was like, this is not right.
At least you get the animated like buffer.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, like when the intro started playing, like, this is Christmas Vacation. And it was like, yeah, this is Christmas Vacation. I ran to the front and was like, please switch. I like that, but it's not what I paid to see. Yeah,
I'm glad that your theater is also a flashback cinema theater.
Yeah.
I love that. Catching some of those is awesome.
Yeah.
All right, next up we got Best Song or Score. Daniel Bloomberg for The Brutalist, Hans Zimmer for Dune Part 2, Steven Schwartz and John Powell for Wicked, Chris Bowers for The Wild Robot, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross for Challengers are your nominations. Daniel Bloomberg for The Brutalist is your winner. That's who I had as my number 1. I walked out of The Brutalist saying, wow, the score and the cinematography were fantastic in that movie. The score was so good. Hans Zimmer, absolutely worthy as well. He was my number 2. Wicked, my number 3, and The Wild Robot 4. Did not see Challengers.
I had Challengers at number 1. Like that score was so like unique and kind of perfect for that movie. I think your ratings might change a little bit if you get around to seeing Challengers. But I had that 1, Zimmer at 2, The Wild Robot at 3, and then Brutalist at 4. I don't know. The Brutalist was such a slog to get through that I did not care for.
I think the score for The Brutalist is the best thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's me.
It probably was. But I'm just like so angry at that movie that it took so much of my life away.
Yeah.
And I know it was like 3 hours, but it felt like 7.
I think the downturn for me was the rape out of nowhere. Personally.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Like I get it. You can show him exerting power in a different way.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just kind of made me check out at that point.
Absolutely.
Kind of felt like a fantasy film at that point.
Mhm.
I don't know. But yeah, that was number one for me. I had Wild Robot at 2. I really like the score for Wild Robot.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's a few films here that, I mean, actually, like literally every single one of these scores I could probably put on and be okay with.
Yeah.
I'm going to say a hot take. I have Challengers at 5, and that is not
Ooh.
popular. It's not my thing, but I get it. I just like Wicked, Dune Part 2, The Wild Robot, and Brutalist a little more.
Mhm.
But I like all of them. But also that electronic score. And I agree, it's very unique. And I do think it was snubbed at the Oscars. I think it should have been nominated. I think that's one thing that the Deucies got right over the Oscars. And Jacob, if you're looking to watch a movie with two men that are eating a churro really aggressively right in front of each other, the Challengers is for you.
I think I'm probably going to pass at this point. If I didn't watch it for the Deucies, I'm not going to retroactively. I don't think I need to see it.
I kind of liked it.
It's not bad. It's just I don't know. It's a lot. Like Luca's got a vibe, and it's yeah.
There's 4 movies in the theater right now that I need to see that is going to take up my time with the little time that I have.
What
I haven't seen any of the new releases. It's I haven't seen Warfare. I haven't seen King of Kings. What's the other one that just came out? Sinners and Episode 3.
Oh yeah.
So that will be taking up my movie watching time in the near future. So I don't know if I'll get to Challengers. Maybe we'll see.
Sinners, unless something crazy happens, will absolutely be a Deucie nom next year.
You know, for our
category,
calling your shot.
We really should have points for Deucie noms as well.
Wait a minute. I don't know that that's a good idea when 3 guys that nominated are also drafting.
Yeah. 2, Dr. Earl doesn't draft with us.
Okay, that's still not a good idea.
No, it's not. It's not. You're right. You've talked
totally play you guys.
I'm just saying that I have Sinners, and so I'm just trying to get as many points as I can.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to best drama here. We've got A Complete Unknown, Civil War, A Different Man, The Brutalist, and Woman of the Hour. I did not see Woman of the Hour. Had A Complete Unknown as my number 1 there. Civil War is my 2. It's actually in that order. So, yeah. Civil War, definitely a worthy winner here. Very good movie. Fantastic. So,
I did not love any of these movies like in some other categories, but I liked everything except Woman of the Hour. So I just kind of had to arrange them in what I thought was the best drama.
Yeah.
And I did put Brutalist at 1, even if, but if I redid it today, I might put Different Man, which I put at 2 at 1. I was really captivated by Different Man. I think that's a really, really good movie. It's a great performance by Sebastian Stan. And I think he was snubbed for the Oscar nom for that. And I didn't see the Trump movie. I've seen clips, and I think he does a fantastic job. It sucks when he's got 2 performances that come out in the same year and they both compete for Oscars.
I watched the Trump movie. And I watched both of those, and he was so much better in A Different Man. It's not like he was bad in the Trump movie, and the Trump movie was fine overall.
What was it? The Apprentice?
Yeah, I think it's something. I think that's the name of it.
The Roy Cohen Trump movie.
Yeah, but like Sebastian Stan is just so much better in A Different Man than he is as Trump.
I imagine he probably has more range in A Different Man.
Yeah, absolutely. Nate, thoughts?
Civil War was my number 1.
Mm-hmm.
There was parts of it that sort of reminded me of like Argo, where it was just like so tense. Especially that one scene with
Jesse Plemons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know you see that in like the trailer and stuff, but like when you actually get to it, like it's like, oh man, like don't breathe, just like hold it in. So that was my number 1. Complete Unknown was number 2. Like I just really enjoyed that movie. Probably a little recency bias on that as well, because that was probably the most recent of all the movies I'd seen.
And that's why they released them in December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also really did not care for Woman of the Hour.
Yeah.
It was kind of boring and uninteresting for the most part.
I thought it was pretty weak.
Yeah.
I feel bad because I think Anna Kendrick directed it, didn't she?
I think so.
Yeah.
But it's just there's just
I
not
think the
a lot
direction
there.
is fine. The story was just not interesting. And it should have been.
I was about to say, it's a really, there should be an interesting story. I mean, it's such a it's a true story about a guy who got on a game show and wasn't it, or was it a true story? I don't remember.
I think it was.
I think it was too.
There's a couple things that, like Strange Darling lied last year, and now I have to be careful. I don't know if anybody here saw Strange Darling, but
no, I think I heard about that though.
The beginning of the movie literally says this is a true story, and it's a total lie.
Yeah,
which is fine or whatever, I guess. But
I think a movie that they missed in this category was, I'm trying to find it, Love Lies Bleeding.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Like, I thought that was really good. I would have had that over Woman of the Hour.
I think only Mikey saw that film of the group. And that probably hurt the chances for that. I do think he liked it.
Nosferatu, I think, also did not get a nom.
Yeah.
I could have nominated for one of these for sure, because I really liked that movie.
Yeah.
Juror number 2 again for best drama.
Yeah.
I'm calling a absolute miss for our favorite podcast hosts. Yeah. All right, next category, best comedy. This may be the one that I'm low-key most upset about. Your nominations are The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, A Real Pain, Saturday Night, Deadpool and Wolverine, and My Old Ass. I did not see My Old Ass, so I had Deadpool and Wolverine in the last position. Again, my views may be a bit tainted by diarrhea, but I had Best Christmas Pageant Ever as my number 1. I think that was like my number 3 movie of the year. I absolutely loved it. I had A Real Pain above it as well at number 2, and Saturday Night is 3. I get that Deadpool and Wolverine's a funny movie, but I just enjoyed Saturday Night and Real Pain way more than those from like a comedy standpoint. And Best Christmas Pageant Ever, I don't know. I get that it's you would have to put it in comedy, but again, maybe a family movie category would be a good addition for the Deucecast.
That's tough.
Yeah, I had it at number 5 just for that reason. It wasn't like nearly as much as a comedy as any of the others. I kind of liked the movie, which surprised me, based on my personal beliefs. But to me, it was like a really good movie about like poverty and sort of the cycle there. So I really enjoyed that part of it, but that part is not funny. So
yeah,
I had that at 5. Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine. I love that movie. I could watch it again right now and laugh my head off. Saturday Night was 2. My Old Ass was 3. Real Pain was 4. 3 and 4 could flip back and forth depending on, my mood, but 1 and 2 were pretty close as well.
Yeah, I'll echo Nate. And what I mean, look, this is we all vote how we all have our own ideas as to how we vote for certain things. But this category is literally just how much did I laugh when I watched these movies to me. And Deadpool and Wolverine was easily number 1 for me personally. I had Saturday Night at number 2. Even if I have some issues with that film, where it's one of those, it's not a biopic, but it's kind of a biopic almost, where like there's a bunch of conveniences for things that didn't actually happen to get to the things that did happen all in one night, even though they didn't necessarily all happen in one night, kind of thing. There is kind of a little bit of an eye roll there, but I did have a lot of fun with that movie. A Real Pain was at number 3, and then My Old Ass at number 4. But those were, I could flip-flop those any day, like Nate was saying. And Best Christmas Pageant Ever, I enjoyed that movie. I didn't really laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I laughed in Real Pain, it was more like an uncomfortable laugh.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. That is fair. All right, next up, we're getting near the end here. I think this is the second to last category. Best sci-fi / horror movie: Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Furiosa, Mad Max Saga, The Substance, and Alien Romulus are your nominations. Dune Part 2 is your winner. I think, if I remember correctly, looking back at previous winners really quickly for sci-fi, yeah, Dune did not win this last year. Godzilla -1 did, so the first win for the Dune movies in this category. Dune Part 2, your winner. I think it's
Dune came out in 21.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, duh. Okay. I'm an idiot. It did win in
It did,
2022.
yeah.
Okay. Wow, I thought they were I
See,
was
and you
so
tried
wrong.
to take Greg Fraser's cinematography away because you thought it was like 2 years in a row.
Yeah, man, that was dumb of me. Huh. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. Garrison, talk about this category.
I put Dune at number 1 very, very easily. I liked all these movies minus maybe Furiosa, which I thought was fine. The Substance was my number 2. This is not a film that maybe is quote unquote made for me. It's probably made for more women in general. It talks more about their beauty standards and how they're viewed in the world and how executives in Hollywood view them and stuff like that. But I really love this movie. I love Margaret Qualley and Demi Moore's performance in the movie. And I just think it's a great sci-fi movie. When I'm thinking of this category, the sad thing for me is this category is going to be really hard when I'm voting for it for me to ever put a horror movie at number 1 because I'm just I'm more of a sci-fi guy. So sadly, Romulus is down at 4, and Furious is at 5, which would put Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at 3. I'm just more inclined to the sci-fi aspect of everything, and I really enjoy. Although The Substance is kind of horror at the same time too.
Yeah, I was going to say it was sci-fi and then horror.
Straddles the line. And oh man, Dennis Quaid gives a fantastic performance in that movie. I never want to see that shrimp eating scene again, but yeah.
Nate, your thoughts?
I had Substance as number 1 just because it was both sci-fi and horror. Dune Part 2 was a very close second. I really liked Alien Romulus, so I had that at 3. Furiosa at 4. And then, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I don't even remember what that movie was about. So I put that at 5 because...
What a wonderful day!
Yeah, that means nothing to me. I don't remember that.
That's a movie that I completely forgot to log on Letterboxd, and then 9 months later, I was like, I saw that movie. What the heck? So I had to retroactively date it back to the Thursday release because I'm pretty sure I saw it then.
You guys didn't like Proximus Caesar, played by Kevin Durand?
Look, I had Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes as my number 2.
Too. Yeah.
And Dune is my number 1 here. I actually had The Substance below Furiosa. So
yeah, that's yeah.
There's a little love for Furiosa.
I gave Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes 3 stars, so I must have thought it was okay.
Yeah, I think it was a 3.5. That's my I thought this was kind of a weak category this year, in all honesty.
Dune was not to me
for sure. It was just far and away, but it really didn't have a competitor in my mind, and maybe that's due to we didn't have good superhero movies this year.
Well, and I also think that's a part of it for sure. I thought, to be honest, we have one more category left, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Personally, for me, 2024 is one of the weakest film years for me in a long time.
Yep.
And 23 and 22 had some weak spots where I was expecting some better films here or there, but ultimately, Oppenheimer, I'm a Nolan mark, so that was awesome. 22 had plenty of great films. 21 had a lot of great films. I love Coda a lot in 21.
Yep.
And Spider-Man No Way Home for me personally. But yeah, this past year, when I'm saying Dune Part 2, which I loved, is my favorite movie of the year, which it was. But it doesn't touch some of the past 4 or 5 years for me in terms of the best films. So I was kind of disappointed this past year.
Yeah.
Because in other years, people wouldn't have to complain about Enora or The Brutalist or whatever getting nominated for Best Picture because there would have been better films up there. And I like some of I love Enora, but I don't think it wins Best Picture any of the last 5 years previous to this.
Yeah,
one.
agreed.
So,
yep.
It might have beaten, what was it, Green Book? When was that?
Well, that was
Green-
2018, so that just
Okay.
is on the outside. But
Yeah.
That's one. Granted, I watched that last year, so I didn't watch it when it came out.
It might have
but I
beaten
really-
Nomadland. It might have beaten Nomadland.
Yeah. Did not. Nomadland was one of those fine, like,
Yeah, Nomadland was
stuffy for having it win.
that was the year that nobody wanted to release their movies because they wanted to make money,
Yeah.
and nobody was going to the theaters during COVID.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right, we're gonna close up here with the Best Picture. I think probably the most surprising win of the night of the Deucies. Your nominations are Dune Part 2, A Complete Unknown, Civil War, September 5th, A Real Pain, The Brutalist, Wicked, and Enora, with September 5th as your winner. I've got them rated in that order. Dune Part 2, far and away my favorite movie of the year. Again, I liked September 5th. Surprised that's your winner.
I don't think Nate.
It-
I don't think
Yeah.
Nate's surprised.
Yeah, Nate,
Yeah,
let's
it was my favorite. I think that it probably slipped in because I think it was Dave's favorite movie as well. And then I think that Civil War and Dune sort of canceled each other out a little bit in a lot of votes. But I had September 5th 1, Civil War 2, Complete Unknown 3, Enora 4, Dune 5, A Real Pain 6, Brutalist 7, Wicked 8. But this was a solid year for these.
I had Dune at 1. I'm just going to go ahead and say everything on this list I like in some variation of liking.
Yeah.
I
agree.
had Dune Part 2 at 1. I had Wicked at number 2. I cannot tell you. Maybe I should be ashamed to say it, but I really liked that movie a lot.
Wow.
When it came out of the theater. I mean, a lot. I was not looking forward to that film, and I went by myself on opening night because I was like, I got time. Let's go check out the new blockbuster. It was good. September 5th at number 3. And so that's the thing is like, I'm sure September 5th is high on everybody's list.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm sure Dune Part 2 is as well, but just because of, how good it is, even if you didn't have it at 1, you had it in probably the top 3 or 4. I have Enora at 4, as much as I've been gushing about that movie. I ranked it how I felt about it against all those other films. The Brutalist at 5. I have Civil War at 6 and Real Pain at 7. And I'm realizing I put the wrong numbers in. I put 7 and 8, which is kind of crazy because I don't think we had 8 noms, did we?
We did.
Oh, what am I missing?
Real Pain.
Say it again.
Okay, Real Pain, Civil War, Brutalist, Enora, September 5th, Wicked, and Dune Part 2.
I think A Complete Unknown.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. That Complete Unknown was supposed to be 6 then because I didn't. Yeah, whoops. I hope Dave understood that, but he probably didn't.
So it sounds like I probably ruined the Dune vote by putting it at 5.
Probably.
Yeah. That's all right. Look,
I can live with that.
Dune will just never win a Best Picture.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. I all the people who were like, "Oh, it'll be like Return of the King. The third one will just win it all."
Yeah.
And it's like the third one is like a depressing story.
Oh yeah,
isn't it?
no way.
It's not like Return of the King at all.
The third-
you've actually read it, right?
The reason I will be in the theater opening night for the third Dune because Danae is almost my Christopher Nolan to Garrison, where I just
Danae's my second favorite
for
living
sure
director. So.
And so like I have confidence in him, but I'm almost treating this third Dune how I've treated Last of Us season 2. I have not watched any of it yet. Kind of my plan tonight is to catch up on The Last of Us Andor and The Rehearsal. The source material is much derided, and
Yeah, Nate, you've read Messiah, haven't you?
I don't know if I got through all of. I probably did because I don't like to half read a book. It just got weird.
yeah.
Like I mean,
he's gonna have
Dune
to
is kind
change
of weird, but this got weirder. And
I didn't read it. I've just read about it, and like Dave does for the Wikipedias for movies, I kind of do that for books because I'm not a reader. They're just very divisive, and I feel like people like Dune heads are like it's the best ever, and normal people are like that was weird as shit.
Yep.
But yeah, look, I'm not upset with the September 5th win. It's a surprise for sure. I think there's 3 better movies in this list than September 5th, but I'm not upset about it.
Yeah, I'm actually happy. Look, I'm someone who watched One Day in September when I was like 17 or 18.
Mhm.
That was almost 10 years ago now, which is crazy to me. But so it's always been a fascinating story to me, that Olympics and the Israeli team getting kidnapped by Black September, I think it was. The documentary is very good if you want to check it out. But the movie, to me, what I really loved about it was it's not even really necessarily. It doesn't show the events all the time. It's really about the production crew deciding, how do we cover this, and they're not a news team crew. They're the sports crew, and they're having to adapt and go out there and say, no, we can do this. And making some mistakes as they do, as they start showing it live and they realize the terrorists are watching them, which is obviously not a good idea as cops are climbing the building to go and meet and probably do a little more there. But, and it's based on real events, real thing that happened in the Olympics. I'm glad that this won because it really didn't get any other love in much of the other award circuit stuff. And I think, sadly, that there's some politics to that probably, but we don't need to get into all that.
And see, like I'm probably leaning the other way in that political stuff there, but I still really enjoyed the movie because to me it was like it felt like we were like learning as the characters were as well. It's not like we're seeing all this stuff and then interpreting it. We're getting snippets just like them, and it was really clever the way they sort of pieced that together, I felt.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
And the behind the scenes stuff of like how TV and movies work and the satellite and drag the camera outside and stuff like that. That was cool.
And them sneaking the film across the yeah.
You look like an athlete. Strap this on.
Yeah. Hey, do you guys have your top 5 of the year? Maybe we can share those.
Okay.
I can start her off first since I'm posing the question. I've got it up. My number 5 was A Complete Unknown, The Wild Robot, number 4, Best Christmas Pageant Ever, number 3, Twisters, number 2, and Dune Part 2 as my number 1. Dune Part 2, my only 5-star movie of the year.
Let's see what I would put on my list. Great question.
I've got mine if you need a minute.
Yeah, go ahead and say yours.
At 5, I had Bray Wyatt Becoming Immortal. I just really, really, really loved that, and that got me back into watching wrestling a little bit. Civil War, I had at 4, The Fall Guy at 3, September 5th at 2, and then Deadpool Wolverine is number 1.
I had Dune Part 2 at number 1. I'm gonna put this is by the seat of my pants right now. I'm gonna put Deadpool and Wolverine at 2. I'm gonna put Super/Man at 3. From there, I'm gonna go and put Wicked at 4, and I think I'm gonna put Wild Robot at 5. But there's a few other films in there for contention, like September 5th that we just talked about. So
yeah, I think September 5th was my number 10 movie of the year.
I didn't include it, but Nosferatu is easily in my top 10 too.
I'm sorry, that Nosferatu is my 10. September 5th did not make my top 10. Inside Out 2, Civil War, Juror number 2, The Fall Guy, and A Complete Unknown round up my top 10.
I don't have I'm not going to give a 10. Just
yeah, no, you're good. You're good. That's why I only asked for 5. I was like, I could do 10 because I've got the letterbox list, but
I feel like what you said earlier, Garrison, about this being sort of like a low year. I feel like there was about 15 really good movies, and then not much after that.
Yeah, some stuff that was fine, but some stuff that should have been a lot better, sadly.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, in terms of performance, theaters actually did all right last year. Like the box office dipped down like 3%, but half of the year was affected by the strikes. So, 8.7 billion is still pretty solid. Let's start getting it towards 10 billion if you want pre-COVID numbers. That may never happen, but I'm always a dreamer on that.
Look, this is shaping up to be a pretty big year. 2025 is. So I'm excited for the Deucies next year.
My friend just got out of the Thunderbolts and said that, and he didn't even go see Brave New World. He said it was really great.
Cool.
So he didn't give me any more than that. I don't want him to spoil me or anything.
Yeah. I'm excited for this year. Like I said a few minutes earlier, there's a bunch of movies that I really want to see that I've heard are very good. And so I'm excited for this year, and I'm hoping next year. This Deucie reaction show was a bit put together last minute, to say the least. So I know last year we talked about David was going to send me some data on like the votes and how close everything was. I'm going to actually try to get that next year.
Well, I think the problem was the Deucies happened so late because of vacations and stuff. So, in the future, we might be able to work things out a little better.
Yeah, and I'll actually be able to watch movies come May 25th this year more often.
Hey, I'll see you.
Yes, you will. Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
My apologies.
No, you're good, man. Don't apologize.
Hey, man, Nate, I'm single with no kids, so it's a lot easier.
It's also the end of the school year.
Yeah. My brother, like, they were told you cannot take the Friday before Memorial Day off. Yeah. And then
that's what I did.
He's like, my brother's getting married and he's rehearsals that day. I'm the best man. Can I have a half day? And they're like, okay, fine. So I get it. There's just no worries. He's a teacher as well. So, I fully understand. We also just know each other on the internet. But anyways, that's all post-show talk. Thank you guys so much for watching the Deucie Award reaction show. I'm Jacob. You can follow me, Roth from Wyoming, on Twitter, Instagram. Good Day for a Movie podcast releases podcasts sometimes. Again, maybe that's something post-marriage that will come back in more fullness. Garrison, you're due for an invite. We just have to record another episode before we can figure out when we're doing that one. That also may be a summer one, because I don't foresee us. I mean, maybe we can get 2 in before the wedding, but we'll see. Nate, where can people follow you if you want people to follow you places?
Aussie Nate on all the things. Yeah, I don't have a podcast. Neither do you anymore, Garrison.
Yeah, I know.
Neither do I.
Yeah. I used to have the extra, which I could rely on and just say, hey, I'm there, but Mikey canceled it. So
it felt weird having a show canceled.
Yeah. The weird thing was, we can talk about it post show.
It wasn't even your pizza comment that canceled it.
Garrison, how about you? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Ryfun3, GRYFUN3. I don't like taking a brand and then making it generic. That's just so weird to me. I'm sorry.
Agreed. It'll always be Twitter to me.
Yeah. You tweet. What's a post? What's a repost? Yeah. Retweet. It's so unique. Why do that to yourself?
Yeah.
Anyway. That's all it. Right. Deucecast Discord as well.
Yes, Deucecast Discord. Make sure you catch the Deucecast movie show. Comes out every single Wednesday, unlike the Good Day for Movie podcast. They are actually release episodes every week, and when they miss them, they have a big backlog that you can that are fun to listen to as well. I'm not sure what they're doing tomorrow, but an episode definitely drops in the morning. Garrison, do you know what topic it is?
I know that they assigned the International Earl picks. I don't know if I know the topic. I don't off the top of my head. I may have a inkling of an idea, but
yeah. All right. Well, make sure you catch the Deucecast movie show available on all the podcatchers. Michael, David, Dr. Earl, all the absolute best, the best podcast hosts I know personally. Good qualifier there. Yeah. That's all I got. Thank you to the people that showed up in the chat, namely Jacob Roth.
I agree with him.
Yeah. He should have said good looking too.
Yeah.
That's what he meant to say. All right.
You have that up.
Thanks, guys. In the stream.